Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, interesting news from Bob Arum. There's a fight that we want to see in the welterweight division because, listen, we all want undisputed. No, we don't. That's why I said we all want undisputed. But most of us, I wouldn't be on here basically talking. That's the only thing that really matters, in boxing to me really is, hey, who's the best at this particular division or that particular division, especially now that we have so many divisions. So things that are undisputed, that's why I call Alexander Usyk boxing royalty. That's why I think Terence Crawford, who I'm about to talk about, is boxing royalty. They've done awesome things, but becoming undisputed in a sport where many are not trying to do so. And many people and networks and promoters and things are maneuvering people around this happening. You have so many champions. You have four that are relevant, plus two that are coming through the back door, the IBO and the IBA, which gives you six. You have a regular champion from the WBA. And now you got a franchise thrown on top of that. It's just we ain't even getting into intercontinental and all that other stuff. So it's about six guys that are relevant that are running around in every little division calling themselves champion. So if you have undisputed, then it's something awesome, especially in Alexander Ozik's case. But I'm gonna talk about him with Derek Chisora coming soon. But even Terence Crawford becoming undisputed with the help of your boy Julius Indongo, really awesome thing to happen. So Terence Crawford is now going to his third division. He's beating people in the welterweight division, but we probably can't have undisputed in the welterweight division. But there's a way to get close, and the way to get close was, to have Terence Crawford fight Manny Pacquiao, and then have, seeing as though Errol Spence had the car accident, Terence Crawford ain't fighting him. Not after a car accident, because it's a lose-lose situation for Terence Crawford. I've been telling you that, and now I've heard that he said that as well. No, I'm not fighting him after that. Somebody else can fight him after that, right? But Errol Spence has the other two belts. So if Errol Spence goes on to fight a Danny Garcia, which is also a very hard fight to come to your first fight after a car accident like that, messing around with Danny Garcia, go ahead, Mister. Everybody underestimates Danny Garcia, but don't beat him, right? Go and do that. But that's a pretty good fight for Errol Spence to come back on, right? Now, Terence Crawford, in the meantime, a Manny Pacquiao fight would be awesome because it's also a unification, and then that makes you one fight away from undisputed in the division. And it comes, listen to Bob Arum. Bob Arum is saying, hey, listen, I'm still trying to make that fight. Manny Pacquiao really didn't want it earlier, right? When Pacquiao was at top rank under Bob Arum, they didn't want to fight Terence Crawford because they thought it would be the passing of the torch, and, maybe Manny Pacquiao would get retired or hurt badly in that fight. They wasn't really trying to make it. But Manny Pacquiao is resurgent. He looked good. He looked good in beating Keith Thurman. For me, I have my reservations because anybody that can have a fight and don't take dope tests, I have my reservations. I'm going to. I'm not. It's not apologetic reservations because it's Manny Pacquiao. How do we gonna have a fight with two top guys and one of them doesn't have to take a dope test? And that's Manny Pacquiao against Keith Thurman. So I have my problems with that fight. But Pacquiao looked good, looked resurgent, looked okay, looked everything. He looked good since he lost to Jeff Horn. He's been looking good. He's resurgent for sure. That's the word we can use here. So it seems like he feels froggy enough to fight a Terence Crawford. So they're talking about trying to have that fight later this year, somewhere in maybe Australia or in Macau, China, which is interesting. Bringing me to the point of China got 6,000 deaths from coronavirus. China, where Wuhan didn't start there. Now it makes me, my little conspiracy theories go up. Like, how were we prepared so quick to have 6,000 deaths in China? So that means that it's probably feasible to have that fight in China now. In America, we're over 100,000 deaths from coronavirus. So you would think you're apart, 6,000 to 100,000, right? In a place that we call democracy, stuff. When you see it now, how separated, we could be as Americans. So at the end of the day, that would be good that the fight can happen anywhere, but those numbers do stand out. How are you gonna have just 6,000 and then there's 100,000. So there's something to think about, food for thought right there. Did we do the right things in America or whatever? I don't know. I'm just saying. But um, as far as the fight goes, that would be a good fight. It's a fight that I would like to happen for Terence Crawford and for Manny Pacquiao. Because if Manny Pacquiao beats Terence Crawford, I mean, there's really not nothing more Pacquiao can do because he's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer and a legend already. That would sure be the cherry on top if he were to beat Terence Crawford, because Terence Crawford is definitely recognized as one of the baddest ones. And with Terence Crawford lost to Errol Spence, I wouldn't consider that that bad. Errol Spence is a little bit bigger than him, and sometimes when you're moving up in weight, you're gonna find that guy who's gonna say, "Here, the buck stops here." That could be Errol Spence for Terence Crawford. Who knows? But we wouldn't have that excuse for Terence Crawford if he lost to Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao's older, not necessarily bigger. So, this is a fair fight here. So let's see what happens going forward. I think that's very, very pertinent news that this fight could happen, but it would have to happen somewhere in China or Australia because of the corona situation. They could probably even have crowds in 2 or 3 months. We'll see. But it's good to hear him talk about that because, and goes back to my first point, because if that fight happens, the welterweight division, which was so far from it, could be closer to undisputed. And I think that's a good thing. Done with Sports Talk Worldwide, and I'm about to hear y'all.